Hello, it's the return of SDSU-Tube. It's our weekly video blog covering all things Jackrabbit football. David Brown along with Tom Nieman. And Tommy, Jacks 0-7 until this past Saturday against FBS teams. They get their first win against an FBS school, 41-38 over the University of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas. Bonkers game from start to finish.
It was kind of a crazy game. It was a really long game, a lot of points scored, a lot of offense. Kansas ran 89 plays in the game. The Jacks defense was just worn out by the end of this thing. But Jacks jump out 31-7 in the first half of the ball game, and then have to hang on and win it 41-38. But the offense, there were a lot of questions about that. Zach Lujan looked very comfortable at quarterback. Running backs were very good. Isaac Wallace ended up with a bulk of the carries, and he looked really good. Scored a late touchdown to put the Jacks ahead by 10. Brady Mangarelli looked really good at running back as well. Jake Winicky was unbelievable again, just incredible in his first game after his breakout season last year as a freshman. So all the way around, great win to get the first win over a Power 5 conference team for the Jackrabbits.
In Kansas, a lot of critics say, oh, Kansas is the worst team in the Big 12. A win's a win. It's a Big 12 win.
It is, and Kansas is rebuilding there. New coach, new energy. They got a good quarterback, a really good running back, and they're not a great team by any means, but I don't think they're the worst team in the FBS, as a lot of people were saying. And so, yeah, great for the Jacks. They got the win. That was the thing, as SDSU went down there, even against a team that wasn't great. A Big 12 team, no one beat them.
First quarter and a half, as you said, except for the kickoff return they gave up. They were up 31-7. They dominated that first quarter and a half.
They did. Took advantage of some turnovers. Dallas Brown had an interception where Kansas was going in. He guessed right and picked it off and took it back 53 yards. Jacks took that in and scored. And then Nick Mears had a really good game for the Jackrabbits, caused a fumble on a scramble by the quarterback. Jesse Bobbitt returned that. Jacks take that in and get points, get touchdowns off of both those two turnovers. So, yeah, they lead 31-7. And you knew Kansas was going to come back, but great first half for the Jacks.
And funny thing about Dallas Brown's interception, we just talked to Coach Stig. Stig said he gets a failing grade for technique because he wasn't staying home on as many. He jumped the route.
But that's a lot of great players. And players make great plays by guessing sometimes and maybe not having the best technique, and they're going to get downgraded. But he made a great play on that.
So they're up 31-7. Kansas scores just before half, and then in the second half, they came out like gangbusters. They started running hurry up a little bit toward the end of the first half, and they continued that in the second half. Jacks defense just couldn't keep up.
Well, they got worn down, and any team that runs quick like that, I mean, KU was going as fast as they possibly could. They had one drive where they went 16 plays in under 5 minutes, I think, and they'd get up to the line and throw a little short pass, come back, throw another short pass, and it was just hard for the Jacks to keep up. And when Kansas went that fast, they were really good, but they did that for 2 drives, came back, got within a field goal, and then the Jacks kind of caught their breath a little bit and went on and got it from there.
So let's pick it up in the fourth quarter. It's 34-31. Isaac Wallace gets a big gain, and then there's a fourth down play where they're sort of right on the edge of Jay Carlson, who's the new place kicker. He's been the kickoff guy. He's the new place kicker. They're right on the edge of Jay Carlson range, and they decide to go for it. And Zach Lujan makes a picture-perfect pass to Dallas Goddard for a first down inside the 10. Yeah,
it would have been into the wind, long field goal for Carlson. So 4th and 5, and they line up Connor Landberg way out on the sideline. Dallas Goddard, one of the tight ends, is in the slot to the left, and they run Landberg to the sideline on an out route. They run Goddard on a little flag route down to about the 5-yard line, and Zach Lujan just put it perfectly where it needed to be, and they pick up the first down and go in and score a touchdown.
Yep, Isaac Wallace gets a touchdown to give him a 10-point lead. Kansas comes right back down to score again, so it's 41-38. Jacks burn a little time, but they don't burn it all. And then a crazy sequence at the end where Kansas gets a first down at SDSU's 33, and they're going to spike it with 7 seconds left, but then chaos.
And the Kansas fans were all over it. This was the most Kansas thing they could do. But the beginning of the play was, again, Cozart, their quarterback, avoiding the rush, scrambling, making a throw, and they get it down to the Jacks 33. Set the ball down. They're trying to spike it, but he can't handle it. It's a fumble. He goes down. Clock keeps ticking, and before they can spike it, time runs out. Jacks get the win. So Kansas helped them out a little bit. It would have been about a 50-yard field goal attempt to try and tie the game. Who knows what would have happened there, but Jacks caught a break, and they caught a couple breaks during the game, and they took advantage of every one of them to get their win.
And even though it was a close game, Stig told us a very clean game. No turnovers, only 3 penalties, and one of those penalties was just a bonehead move by Dylan Sider, who pushed the guy after the play was over. So really 2 like legitimate penalties.
Yeah, they had 2 false starts on offense, one by one of the linemen, one by one of the running backs. But other than that, the penalty, the personal foul on one of the offensive linemen, and that was it. They played very clean that way. We'll see if they can clean it up a little bit more. And when they get to Southern Utah this Saturday, it's going to be a little different story, but another team that's going to try and play fast, and the Jacks are going to have to try to keep up defensively.
Yeah, Southern Utah is the home opener here at Coughlin Alumni on Saturday. And Southern Utah team, a Big Sky team, the Jacks won at Southern Utah last year, 26-6. But as you said, their offense is a little more high power this year, a little quicker.
Sounds like it. That's all I know about it. That's all Stig told us was they're going to go fast offensively. They've got a really good defensive end. And the Jacks gave up 3 sacks against Kansas. They were all coming around by a defensive end just on a speed rush, so they're going to have to handle that. That's all I know about Southern Utah. But the home opener for the Jacks, we got the new
beautiful new scoreboard right behind us.
About 3/4 of the stadium is done here. The scoreboard's up, and it's going to be fun for the home opener.
Overall, though, going back to Kansas, what does this mean? It's an FBS win. We can debate the merits of Kansas all we want. It's a win against a Big 12 school on the road, first one in school history. It's got to do wonders, not only just for this team, but for recruiting. You got the new stadium. Just everything's rose-colored right now for the Jacks.
It does. I mean, it's a win, as you said. They're first against an FBS. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, Steg even said as much. We got the win. That was the biggest thing, is he wanted to get that win. And as they get toward the end of the season here and the FCS playoff committee starts looking at it, that win over an FBS school is going to carry a lot of weight. That's probably the biggest thing out of it.
As Stig said, all you got to do, go 1-0. For Tom Nieman, I'm David Brown. We'll see you next week on SDSU-Tube.